Today's episode of the Dine 519 podcast is brought to you by Sifton Properties. I am chatting with Graham, the owner of Impressions Bakery. He is a father to 8 children. He owns 2 businesses and somehow still has a hunger for more. We chat business, food, and everything in between. Let's eat. I want to first of all congratulate you. You just gave birth, not you, but your family gave birth to your 8th child.
That's right.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
How's that experience been?
It's been good. It's good to have a baby in the house again.
Yeah.
It's been 3 years.
It's a long time.
We're at
for
our
you.
first 7, like every 15, 16 months apart.
Yeah.
And then we've had, a 3-year break, and now we have another one, and it's really good.
I made a joke on that post that I made about you. I said, John and Kate plus 8, you're going for Graham and Adrienne plus 10.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that. You got 2 more to
Yeah,
more
we
to
got
go.
2 more. My wife really wants twins yet.
Yeah. It was a smooth process though?
Yeah, we actually had the baby in London here, which is
Okay.
an hour and a half from home.
Nice.
But because of some risks, we had her in the hospital like 2 weeks early, actually.
Okay.
It was an induced thing. She went from, my wife went from being perfectly fine 45 minutes later holding a baby.
Crazy.
It was an insane birth.
It's a miracle.
Yeah, super fast.
So now with 8 kids and 2 businesses, tell me a little bit about the driving force behind it all and what keeps you pushing forward.
I ask myself that every morning.
No doubt.
I wake up in the morning, I'm like, why am I doing this? I don't know. It's something, I don't know if we fell into this, but it's been a dream, and it's like one thing goes into the next thing. I'm entrepreneurially minded, I guess. And I don't know. I just can't stop seeing opportunity. And even within like,
You get
Listable's-
restless.
Yeah. Listable's a small town, and I'll get bored. I love starting things. I'm not a great person at completing something necessarily really well. I love to start stuff. I love to see that you could do that, you could do this.
Yep.
And then I kind of go from there. And that's kind of how Impressions has been. It started as a coffee shop dream, not a bakery. And then it kind of took its turns and its twists, and here we are.
I think a lot of entrepreneurs are similar in that sense. I know myself, I'm very much so an ideas person.
Yeah.
I'm not always the most organized. Like Brunch Fest, for example, we sold 2,700 tickets for that event. I think everything was basically in my head. I didn't write down anything. I come up with an idea, I execute, I book a venue, and from that point, you're forced to...
Yeah, you're forced to sink or swim.
100%.
And I think as an entrepreneur, you're tough enough to like swim. And if you start sinking, you'll gain the strength you need to keep swimming.
Your arms are going to start moving.
Exactly.
For sure.
Exactly. Because I think that's the strength of an entrepreneur in a lot of ways, is even if you fail, you're going to find a way to get back up and repeat that and do better, or take a different route.
Absolutely. And you come from a very traditional Mennonite background.
Yeah, I do.
You've moved away from that a little bit.
Yeah.
But do you think that instilled that mindset in you and that discipline that you have now?
I do. I was just talking to one of my my office guy, and my background and the way I grew up, some of the places I worked, the way I had to work with my family, very hardworking family, has taught me a lot in what I do today. And had I not had, that childhood experience from even through my teens, even the people I worked with, people I've worked for, I don't know that Impressions would be what it is today. I was taught a lot.
Yeah.
And I think everyone's story, in a lot of ways, like prepares them for life.
Yeah.
If we let it. A lot of people
100%.
don't want to let it.
There's a lot of victim mentality.
There is. But if you look at your past and realize that, what's happened in my past, the good and the hard, is preparing me for something better or in the future.
Yeah.
You can view that it's easier to handle, and it's true. What I've grown up with has totally prepared me for what we're doing today.
Yeah, and I mean, in a lot of ways, you could have been happy with one bakery, and it's a successful bakery, and now you've just opened another business as well, right? And that's probably a piece of that restlessness, right?
Yeah, 100%. If you think of yourself, though, Dine in 519,
Yeah.
and you look at your past, it was a drive of something in your past that made you go this route?
Yeah.
Was it?
I think so. I mean, I had a really great mom. In a lot of ways, I had a pretty rough childhood. And I think even going through school, it wasn't something that interested me. And I wanted to do something and build something on my own. And when I found that, I became a lot more hardworking. I find when I found something that I was passionate for. And then when I created Dine, it wasn't enough. I didn't want to just make social media content. So doing things like this podcast or doing these large scale events, I think I'm the same as you, as in the sense that I get restless and I'm always looking for the next thing. And how can I grow here? As long as there's passion behind the core of it, I think it's easy to grow from there, right?
Yeah. And two, how you can better people in the process.
100%.
I think that's
the entire driving force. As much as I love food, I love people, I love leaving the world better than I found it. And if I can do that in any way, I think that's the purpose of life in a lot of ways, right? So,
and it's the same thing with the impressions. It's like there's so many businesses out there that are there for the money. Like how can we make it $1?
And money's great.
It is. You need it.
Yeah.
You absolutely need it. You're in it to make money, obviously, to survive. But at the same time, if that's your driving core, you do make decisions based on that.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, your product or what you have to offer becomes cheap.
Yep, 100%.
Because you try to find the cheapest way of doing something to make the most out of it. And it eventually it falls through.
If you love discovering things to do in London and surrounding area, check out the My London app today. It's building custom itineraries for you based on your preferences, whether it's food, activities, or anything in between. Check out the My London app today. So our video recently hit 1 million views.
That's wild.
Which is crazy.
That's crazy.
Crazy. Tell me a little bit about behind the scenes after that video was posted and where things are at now.
You posted it on a Thursday. I can remember that. And you came in on a Tuesday, and I didn't know much about you. I had just started recently following you. I think you popped up on my Instagram page, Taylor's Deli.
You were one of the places that was recommended to me quite a bit. And I think I mentioned that in the video, but I get a lot of recommendations. If something comes through my feed enough, I'll look into it. I think I owe it that, right? If I'm getting it 20, 30 times, and you were one of those places, and I'm glad I did.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I saw Taylor's Deli review, which was done. I don't know how far ahead it was done, but it was in Stratford. We had a produce company in Stratford, and we delivered produce to about 30 to 40 restaurants in Stratford growing up as a teen. And so I'm very invested in Stratford and the food scene there because it's a constant revolving door. But there's some
I think
very
per
cool
capita
places.
as a small town,
it's insane.
Yeah.
And so I got into a lot of backdoors restaurants in Stratford delivering produce.
That was the family business.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we had a G&G Family Produce was the name of our company, and we wholesaled produce. That really instilled a fascination for the kitchen and how food worked. But anyway, fast forward to you did Taylor's Deli, which is why it drew me in. I started following you, and then it's like, wow, everyone's like selling out of stuff.
Yeah.
The second they get a review, I would notice like people are like, oh, we're sold out. And I was like, imagine what that would be like.
No doubt.
Anyway, then you messaged me shortly after I started following you and like said, hey, I'd like to come, and came on a Tuesday. Video went out on a Thursday morning.
Okay.
And like we sold out of fry pies by that afternoon. I was like, what are people do? Like, are they sitting there just waiting to go? Or like, how does this work?
My Facebook audience it's an army of retirees.
They're like instant.
And they've got that time. And
do they not have a job? Do they not have kids? Like,
I think they're all retired. I don't know. It's crazy, but yeah, my Instagram is definitely a younger demographic, but Facebook.
It's a Facebook. Okay. Interesting. And see, I do a lot more on Instagram, so I don't even think about that side of things. But Friday then was insane. We sold.
How much did you prepare in anticipation of that after the first day?
We did typically we would prepare about 500 fry pies for a Friday and about 500 fry pies for a Saturday. And fry pies is just part of what we do. But you reviewed the fry pies, so it was the fry pies that really went.
As much as you do and as much as you do at a high level, I think it's kind of the hook of your business.
It is. Yeah. It is. And it's interesting, right? It's different. But we sold all of Fridays, and then all of what we prepared for Saturday, we sold on Friday.
Wild.
And I looked at like my kitchen manager and I was like, we're staying up all night or we'll have nothing for Saturday.
Yeah.
So we did. We stayed up all night and turned out another 600 fry pies plus everything else that we had to do. And they were gone by like 11.
That's
we're open
crazy
till 5.
volume if you think about
Yeah,
it.
it was
go through
insane.
600 of one dessert in a day is, yeah.
So after that, we started just like, it was like, this is just the weekend. It's not gonna continue on. Like people got what they want, but we felt so bad because people were driving from like 4 hours, 5 hours for these things, and we didn't have them. And I felt terrible. We had some other stuff, but I have an incredible team that is really
Stepped up.
really, really stepped up, and so we were able to, for the most part, keep up.
That's one thing I
was a
admired
wild
about how
summer.
you handled that situation, because there's a lot of places I post and they can only do so much, right? But they'll sell out and then they're done in a couple hours. But you really stepped up to the plate, and I think there was not many sellout days. Like you adjusted when you had to.
We really did. The beauty of fry pies is that what we make for one day is for the next day. So it's kind of like a 24-hour period. It's not like a donut where you like, it's sold out, or a croissant even, because like you prepare so far ahead. A fry pie is like, it's a 24-hour turnaround. So, we would make, say, 500 for, the next day, and they sold out that day.
Yeah.
Well, then we would just turn around and make them over. So it's something that we could easily do. Not every product in the baking world is like that. Like
This
you
is
have
true.
to have, especially when you come to lamination pastry, like laminated pastry,
Croissants.
you really have to be plan ahead. And once you're gone, once you're sold out, you're sold out.
Yeah.
You can't turn around and make more.
I think behind the scenes, people that want to start businesses, people that want to start bakeries, they have this cute image of what that is. And I think an aspect of it is that there's obviously the passion there. What are some things that people don't think about? Because obviously it is a very stressful, very competitive business.
Lack of sleep,
Yeah,
like
that's a
big
big
time. Like when we first started and I didn't have the help I had, I was sleeping on the floor. You sleep for 15 minutes and you get up and you keep going. That is the biggest thing. I've put in my nights, and I think every bakery that's up and coming has put in their nights and slept on the floor. The other thing too, I think it's really easy to give into temptation, and so many restaurant supply places, especially like baking supply companies, they want to sell you the cake mix. They want to sell you the donut mix. They want to sell you, and they're in there all the time telling you how your life could be so much easier if you just bought our pre-made product.
There's a lot of
You can buy the
businesses
pail
who
of
rely on
glaze.
the Cisco and
You can buy the pail of chocolate glaze. You can buy the raspberry filling. You can buy the donut mix. And all of a sudden you have a chocolate raspberry donut that you did nothing for. All you did was got the ingredient or the products and put them together. So a lot of bakeries, it becomes this thing of like, what can I put together to make the most money?
yeah.
It's all the same raspberry filling. What's unique about your raspberry filling compared to mine? And that's why I'm passionate about that. Everything has to be made in-house. It has to have our own twist on it. And I'm always adding like a little bit of lemon zest here, a little bit of orange zest here. It like elevates everything. And there's, add a little bit of flavor to stuff so that you're not just eating this and it's like, yeah, it's sweet and it looks pretty, but there's nothing to it.
Well, I love that you showcase that side of things too, like behind the scenes when you were opening this newest business here, you're experimenting with things. And if you don't like something, you'll be transparent about that. You're like, it's not where I want it to be yet. I'm going to work until it is, and then I'm going to release it to you. And not everyone has that passion.
I'm the pickiest person. Like I'll shoot myself in the foot a lot of the times. Like I just, like I'm still struggling with macarons. Today I turned out 3 batches of macarons that I absolutely hate.
I think that's a huge part of your success though. I think you have to be like
that. The amount of fry pies I had to make before I actually got the fry pie I wanted, like the amount of different dough recipes I experimented with before I got this dough was insane.
And then there's that side, but then there's also the business side. And I think a lot of people come into wanting to open a bakery who have never owned a business before. Tell me some things. Did you have struggles there, or was that something that you adapted to pretty quickly?
Once again, it it kind of like was a flowing river in the fact that it kind of just moved and we went with it. So I actually started out literally wholesaling pies and quiche to Market Fresh in Guelph, which is an independent grocery store. They asked if I would do it because I had lost my job at a bakery previously. It was a gluten-free bakery, so I didn't even have regular baking knowledge. I grew up, literally, we weren't allowed wheat in our family.
Interesting. Okay.
So I knew
Is that common in Mennonite? No, I didn't think so.
My mom was a health nut.
Okay.
And so, look, we didn't eat sugar. We didn't have wheat. I mean, I'm healthy now.
Yeah,
that I grew up a very
you're
very
disciplined
healthy,
and you're healthy.
Exactly.
So
but with those limitations, though, I knew how to make any recipe into something different. I knew how to experiment in recipes because I was forced to use honey instead of sugar, and that totally changes. You can't make a cookie out of honey. You have to have a granulated sugar of some sort. So I knew how to experiment at home growing up. So once again, my childhood limitations totally help me in the kitchen now. Because like I'll take when I create a recipe, I don't just go online and find a recipe and try to make it. I'll take, for instance, macarons. I take like 10 macaron recipes. I sit down with them all, and like I combine them all to make the best macaron I can make. And it's the same thing with like a raspberry filling. It might be super easy and simple, and it's just raspberry filling. But there are different things you can do to make that the best raspberry filling you can. And so, once again, my childhood has kind of created that experimenting love that I do. But going back to your question, I think business wise, if you have that tenacious entrepreneurial spirit and you're creating food that you love, but also you're wanting to make it the best version that somebody else will also love, it goes a long way instead of just thinking about the dollar. If you go into baking to make the most money possible, you probably won't last long, which is, I think, why there's a lot of turnaround in the food industry.
100%.
Is because if you're money oriented, if you're money driven, and you're not thinking about the actual product and what is Jesse going to love in that smash burger? Yeah. If you're not making the best smash burger or the best, what you're making, and you're just thinking about money and trying to get burgers out so that you can get $5, you will not last long.
I 100% agree. And I think we're at the point in the economy now where everything is so expensive. And I think that middle of the road restaurant, middle of the road bakery is eventually going to be wiped from the scene.
Right.
Because there's no room for it anymore.
No.
You're either creating an experience, a fine dining experience that people are willing to pay extra for,
100%,
or you have a great value in your product that's also a great product. But we've got 300 pizza joints in London. I think there's maybe 5 or 6 that are worth visiting.
Wow.
Yeah. And I think that goes for any city.
Yeah.
Or any small town. There's only a few people that do things properly and put that effort and attention to detail and love into it.
And unfortunately, the price tag is higher. It just is. Human hands, you need to pay human hands. Like
I think people are willing to pay more for it as well.
They are.
Yeah.
You have 25 employees, and that is the biggest expense. Ingredients are expensive, but the biggest expense are humans making your food. And in a world where AI is taking over, I do think people want that human element, and which is why I'm so passionate about handmade, hand-done products, is because I can get that donut mix and that raspberry filling, and it's all made by a big machine in pails. And yes, there's a human hand putting it all together, but it wasn't crafted by a human. There's a difference in that.
I think as far as AI comes, there will always be that desire in any industry that requires
for the human element.
100%.
Yeah.
There's always going to be a hunger for that.
Yeah.
And if there isn't, it's a pretty sad world, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
If we had a downtown strip that was just Chick-fil-A's and McDonald's, and some towns do, that would be a pretty sad existence for me especially.
Yeah.
So
there's some people that exist for just that though, right?
Yeah.
So like,
proud to support the community we all love. Kenny Insurance Brokers is supporting this episode of the Dine in 519 podcast. London, St. Thomas, or kennyins.com. So as a business owner, as someone that has a really large family, is there any values that you share in both of those? Like in the way that you raise children, is there values that you you apply to that the same way that you do to business?
Yeah, I'm a big advocate for, I guess, rubbing shoulders with other businessmen and business fathers that have kids as well. There's a lot of this talk about like having boundaries. When you're at home, you have this home boundary. When you're at work, you have this work boundary. When you know, I'm not so sure I love that. I don't know if I agree with that. Whereas you have this boundary of like, I'm at work now. I can't be talking to my kids. Like, I make it known to my kids, they're just entering their teens now, is like, you can call me anytime and I will stop what I'm doing.
And I think that's a huge benefit of creating and owning your own thing.
Yeah.
Right?
If you're working at another company, it's a lot different. And then vice versa. When I'm at home, my kids know that sometimes work is more important. Sometimes you get a review and Jesse came in and you have to work the night and you can't go home and put them to bed, you know, and they understand that. And I think if you're there for them when you're working, but then also there for them when you're at home too, it creates this element of like, I'm a whole human. I'm a whole being. Yep. And so my spiritual life, my family life, my business life, I think needs to happen in a way that you can do it together. 'Cause like people lose marriages over their business.
100%.
And if you can do it all together, it creates a much different, like my children come in fold boxes and they're like there to help and be part of it. And when we were crazy busy that last summer, they came in actually quite a few nights and helped me with this and that. And
well, you were a vendor at Brunch Fest, and that was a massive event.
Yeah.
And the fact that you brought the whole family and they were all working, no one was complaining, everyone was happy, and it was a fun thing to do. It was so cool to see.
It was something
a lot
we
of
could do as a
people came
family.
up to me and brought that up, and it just made me smile because I could tell your values, your morals, and everything are on point, and it's really cool to see as a father and as a business owner.
Appreciate hearing that. Really do. I do think the more you can bring your family into business and real life, so the bakery, real life, you're going to get...
Well, those are valuable life skills that you can teach at a young age, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And if they don't see how to do real life, what do you have left? Video games, you know? Yeah. Like real life, like, yeah, you do need to know the basics in school, but what you really need to know is how to do real life. I do think the business aspect, though, just going back to that again, and how important it is to love what you're doing and have passion for what you're doing, even though there's mornings that you wake up and you absolutely hate everything, because that happens.
You can have passion and discipline at the same time. Like, I think you have to. Yeah.
Can I ask you that? Do you ever wake up and be like, why am I doing this?
Or there's a lot of days I don't want to eat food. But at the end of the day, that's not my why. I think my why is the people behind food, the people that I've met behind food, the stories behind it, and knowing that I can have that impact on a business has been my driving force 100% of the time. I recently visited this Ukrainian woman. She's 93 years old, and that video has been taking off. But meeting her, seeing the fact that she's open 7 days a week at 93.
That is crazy.
Is not complaining. She's running this place by herself. She's not only the owner, she is the dishwasher, the server, the cook, insane. And everything else in between. And her passion for it it's incredible.
It's like a way of life.
It's a way of life.
If it gets too busy, she just locks the door.
100%. That's what she said. And I purposely, that video has almost 2 million views in a day, and I purposely didn't add the address.
Crazy.
It's crazy. But I kind of knew telling that story, you know when a story's good, you know when a video is going to pop off. And I think it's based on not only the food, but the story around it. And the funny piece with that is I didn't say one word about how the food was. And it was great, for the record. Not great in like the sense of blowing your mind, but for a home-cooked meal, it was awesome. But I didn't have to mention that because it wasn't about that. It was about the story and that kind of thing.
It was so authentic.
Yeah.
I think it's the authenticity that like just like warms you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about that POV style of video is you get all of those intimate moments in between.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get sick of just eating in my car and having a punchline every word that I say. Sometimes I just want to share that human experience. And I think that's something I'm going to lean into a little bit more.
I was going to say, do you feel like you're going to head that direction?
I would like to.
Not necessarily head that direction, but like add more of that in.
Because I'm a fun, witty person. I like to use metaphors and jokes, and I love being creative, and that's a big piece of why I've kind of formed my personality the way I have. But I'm not always on like that, you know? Sometimes I like to just have a raw, real conversation, and I think that's the reality.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you have to sit and think before you actually like put the video on and do the review?
A lot of it is off the cuff.
Or are you just like...
Yeah, I mean, I'll do takes for sure.
Because that's a gift.
Yeah. So I come from a background in music, and songwriting was my driving force. That was my creativity. And once I stopped doing that, I just find another creative outlet, right? And this has become that. So coming up with these quips and these little lines is kind of the fun piece of it for me. But
you do so well. Do you feel like you need to be in the right mood though? Or can you just make it up? Like,
no, you have
not
to
make it up, but like
you have to be. I mean, sometimes I'll go to a new city and I'm like, okay, while I'm here, I'm only here for so long. I have to get 4 places within this span of time. But you can't eat at 4 restaurants and authentically talk about it. So when I do, I've given myself a limit where I won't do more than 2 places in a day now.
Okay.
No.
Even if you're driving to Windsor.
No, I'll stay in a hotel and I'll do it the next day because
because it's not fresh.
No, I can't have that enthusiasm after eating at 4 restaurants. I don't think anyone could. Not realistically.
Yeah.
You know?
I get what you're saying. I never thought of that.
How can you be excited after you've eaten 4 fry pies and a Big Mac and whatever else, right? It's tough.
And 2 bowls of ice cream.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's good.
I recently visited Juliet's, your newly opened business. Your butter tart ice cream was one of the best things I've ever had. Tell me a bit about the inspiration behind starting another sweet shop in a small town. Yeah,
that actually was one of those things that we didn't really have in the books, actually. There used to be a really cool breakfast joint called Dine Sweets.
Okay.
And they sold. And Dine Sweets, the name came from, it used to be an ice cream and candy shop. And I wanted to take that business and take the name over and create it back into what it used to be, which is like an ice cream and candy shop. And I wanted to do the whole like old European feel, kind of fun. And I had this vision in my head of what the logo was going to look like, which is the silhouette of the lady.
Victorian ghost, as
exactly.
I referred to it.
Yeah, that was going to be Diana.
Okay.
Right? And it didn't work out that we got that building or that name. And so they're like, well, you know what? Maybe we won't do that. And then the place next door opened up to rent. It used to be Holy Guacamole. And she was like, you should rent, the space and everything. So we sat on it and thought about it and decided, you know what, maybe we can, I couldn't let go of the logo image. So that's when it's
a beautiful interior, by the way.
We brought that over to the next door, basically. Okay. But that was the inspiration behind it. And everyone asks if that's one of my daughters, and I was like, no, Juliet is not one of my daughters. We decided to not go with we struggled coming up with a name because it was going to be Diana Sweets, right? Okay. But we just figured we'd leave our children out and future drama.
Yeah, I mean, and then you got to start another 7 businesses to keep everybody happy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I mean, you have so many things going on. I'm curious, to you, what does success look like? How would you define that?
Wow. Success to me,
because I think it's different to every person.
Success to me is how you carry yourself minute by minute. So you can have a successful business on the outside, but if you're a terrible person and you live in incredible stress and you hate your life, is it a success? And you wreck your employees, you wreck your family, you run over whatever. You're a hard person to work for, but your business is successful. Are you successful?
Yeah.
And to me, which it's difficult, but I think day by day, minute by minute, hour by hour, how you handle yourself and how you take on, there's always fires to put out, especially when you're a business owner. There's always a problem. There's no smooth sailing. That's the other thing. If anyone wants to start their business, you have fires to put out constantly.
Yeah, it's not always a cakewalk.
No, it is not. So what do you do in the moment when you're putting out a fire? To me, that's success.
How you handle yourself.
How I handle myself in the problems, because there are always going to be problems. How do I handle myself to the gentleman that came in and got a loaf of bread and sent an email saying that the bread was completely undercooked. It was totally cooked fine, but he couldn't wait to cut into it until it cooled. So he cut into it completely hot. And when you cut into hot bread, it's wrecked and it looks underdone, but it actually would have been just fine if he'd have left it for 30 minutes like I told him to.
Yeah.
What is my response to somebody like that?
Are bad reviews something that bother you at this point?
No. I'd like to say no, but they do. Like someone got a lemon bar and they were sure that it had dog pee in it.
That's hilarious.
They were fresh. I checked like
Dog pee.
Yeah, dog piss.
I'm wondering how
sure
they
of
came
it.
to that conclusion.
It's a Google review. You can look at it. You can't change
I would
those
love
reviews.
to see that. Yeah.
You can't change those reviews. I have no idea. I wanted to
just so
ask what
curious
she
how
was
they
drinking or eating
got to the bottom
beforehand.
of that.
But you have you can't control people. And how long was that lemon bar? When was that lemon bar eaten? 2 weeks after it was purchased? Like you have no idea with some of this stuff. And so I'm not a keyboard warrior where I'll get on and be like, try to explain the whole thing so that, the public can see how I handled it. I normally just let it go because I think most people can read reviews and get a general sense of like, okay,
The authenticity.
That's probably a Karen.
My favorite thing in the restaurant industry, my favorite and my least favorite thing is people who will write a Google review and they'll say, I've been to this business 17 times. I've been coming here for 10 years. I've loved it every time, but today I had a bad experience. And they'll give a 1-star review. So you came here for 17 years. You didn't leave one review, no 5-star, but you had a bad day today and now it's a 1-star restaurant. That's crazy to me.
Yeah. You get those.
Yeah.
And one thing like with more, we sold more fry pies and more people came through our door, but man, with that comes like more eyeballs on everything you do.
You're preaching to the choir, man. As much love as I get, I get a lot of negativity, and I don't understand it per se. I'm out here trying to do a good thing. Genuinely, I am. But there's a lot of negative people out there.
There's always going to be a percentage of that. And do you find like, everyone wants 500 followers on Instagram or Facebook, whatever. But with that comes a higher percentage of people that
500?
Say you want 500,000.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah. What's your goal on Instagram? Followers.
I'm almost at 100. I'm pretty excited
I know, you're getting
for that.
really close.
I'm pretty excited for that. And at the end of the day, it's not about a number. It's about impact. But that's been one number that I've been chasing for a bit. So I think it'll feel good for a second. But I've noticed every time I hit those milestones, you move on and you're on to the next thing, right? Because at the end of the day, the thing that makes me the most happy is people that love finding a new restaurant, or they're going on a day trip with their mom for the first time in 3 years, or they're doing something with their partner, or the messages from the business that just tripled their sales in the last few months. Like that to me is the biggest impact, but hitting 100,000 followers won't hurt. Yeah. It's a cool feeling.
No doubt. But those 100,000 followers, the impact that you have on them compared to say when you had 25,000 followers, you're going to have a higher percentage of negative people. It's just the way it is.
I think if a video hits 5 million views, no matter what it is, if it's a kitten, if it's an old lady celebrating her birthday, there is going to be negative comments on that video.
100%.
No matter what. Yeah. And that's what I've tried to realize. But living in a small town, sometimes people just thrive on negativity.
Yeah.
London's not that big of a city, right? And that's just kind of how it is. But you let it roll off your back. You have to know who you are as a person. I'm sure you get negative comments too for whatever reason.
Yeah, and you do let them go. They do this weird thing to my spirit though. Like I will be
100%.
honest. Like you read it and you're like, ugh. Like it can almost you could almost let it wreck your day. I don't like to admit that, but
negativity
it's
hits
truth.
differently than positivity.
I like to say sticks and stones, can't break my bones, but yet at the same time, I think we're still humans and we still have emotions. And it doesn't matter if someone falsely accuses you for something that you made that was A1 and they didn't love it. It still is like this little,
You have to read into that too, right? Someone's behind an anonymous screen name and they're sitting there and being
Right.
hateful. You have to think to yourself, has there ever been a point where you've wanted to do that to someone else? I haven't. I've never wanted to anonymously leave negative comments about someone online.
No.
So it speaks to the type of person that they are too. And
This is very true.
that's something I've had to teach myself.
Yeah, that is very true.
Mm-hmm.
And what childhood trauma are they working through?
Exactly,
They haven't
right?
accepted. You know what I mean?
You either grow from it or you fall into it. And I think
exactly.
I'm more understanding in that sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so fascinating.
Hey everyone, today's episode is brought to you by Libro Credit Union, bringing a human element to banking. Whether you're a family or a first-time entrepreneur, Libro is there actually listening, coaching, and helping you every step of the way, making your money work for you. Their approach is banking that moves you, which means they're helping communities move forward. If you're looking to take the first step, check out Libro Credit Union today. So outside of business, tell me a little bit more about the fatherhood experience and what you've tried to instill in your kids. For people who are maybe aspiring parents or they're already parents and they're struggling with some things, what are some things that help you to become a great parent and remain a great parent?
I think, man, this is a whole world, the whole parenting thing. I think the biggest thing that I'm realizing as a parent, I mean, dad always had it figured out, right? Or mom had it all figured out, right?
At least they acted like it.
They acted like it, but they didn't. The more I'm a parent, the more I realize, man, my parents were winging it. They had no idea what they were doing. And I think the sooner you can realize that you don't know what you're doing either, and telling your kids that.
Yeah.
I let my kids know that, you know what, I don't know what to do in this situation with you or with the situation that's come. What do you think we should do? And yeah, they have opinions.
It's kind of cool to turn that around.
At the end of the day, they realize that I'm doing my best and I'm trying to figure this out too. And I think that vulnerability as a father to my children I notice their hearts change when I open up that way.
Is he a good dad?
You know, having those conversations about I'm stuck. I feel stuck right now.
Yeah.
You know, and then too, also you still are the father. You still have to, make the decisions and the rules.
Of course.
Yeah, because 8 kids can trample you pretty fast.
Well, and it's like you said, having that discipline growing up is it's massive. And I think a lot of people grow up without that. And when they turn into adults, they feel a little bit lost.
Right.
Unless they find something that drives them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, 100%. I think it was a lot like when our kids were a lot younger, which is not that long ago at all. When we had, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you had to do everything. It was a lot of work, and you're just surviving at that point, doing the best you can, surviving. But now that my kids are like entering, their teen years, and you can start having these cool conversations and reasoning and teaching them how to use a credit card and teaching them how to do things like, my 9-year-old just loves cake. I don't know why he loves cake so much, but he loves to make cake.
That's awesome.
And being able to like teach them now and they're becoming moldable.
Yeah.
To me, that my wife loves the baby stage. I love after they get to be about 6.
Young adults.
Oh yeah, you
They're
can start
growing into
shaping them and
themselves,
having fun with them.
And you've been shaping them all along, but now you're seeing it unravel.
Yeah, and I think you build your, at the younger age, you build that, you instill trust with them. But then later on, like just having fun with them and having them as friends.
100%.
Like bringing my 13-year-old son on a drive, it's fun.
It's awesome.
It's now fun.
So I want to ask you a couple rapid fire questions, food related. If you were on death row, what do you think your meal would be? You can eat whatever you want.
I really love a good fry pie, but I also really love a good donut. I love Boston cream donuts.
You can have multiple things. Yeah. Say this is like a 3-course.
So this is a 3-course meal.
Plus dessert.
Oh, goodness. Probably a burger, actually. But it has to be a triple patty burger.
Okay.
Like I'm talking like a lot of meat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a smash burger.
No, it's too thin for me.
Fair.
Like I need.
There's something, 6
I need
ounce
something.
patty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like
And a fry pie
like
for
a pound
dessert.
of meat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That and really good ribs.
Okay.
It's like well done ribs.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's a controversial food opinion that you have? Something that you just wish didn't exist, or something that you hate that a lot of people love?
Wow. That one's catching me. I'm not actually that picky,
Fair.
to be honest. There's a lot of food more that I wish people did love.
Okay.
That I love.
What would be an example of that?
Like London fog
Okay.
or lavender or cilantro. Like
I love cilantro. I don't get that. I think it's they say it's a genetic thing,
Yeah.
but cilantro is incredible.
I
You
think
can't
it
have
is.
proper
Like,
Mexican
makes-
food
yeah,
without cilantro.
no.
It's wild.
like there's some like in the bakery there's some things like, man, if people would get over themselves and actually love, white chocolate and raspberry. I don't know why that combination doesn't
Is that something
fly.
people don't like?
It doesn't sell as good.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
That and if coconut is another thing. People just really are shy with
A little more
coconut.
polarizing.
Yeah.
For me, I would say matcha.
Okay.
I don't understand the hype
You
behind
don't-
it. It's swamp rock grass, as I refer to it, algae. But
Yeah.
matcha's a little
Yeah.
overhyped for sure.
Yeah. I can see that.
Do you guys have matcha in the
We do
bakery?
have some matcha.
I think you have to.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
You got to please that Pilates
Yeah,
crowd.
there are a lot of people that love it, And I think if it's done well, I think if you had a mango matcha.
Yeah, but
you'd
then it's
like
not
it.
matcha at that
That's
point. That's
true.
what people say
Yeah.
to me. Oh, have you added strawberry? Have you added vanilla?
Yeah, that's-
well,
Then are you having authentic
I don't
matcha?
love anchovies,
Yeah.
but have you put a million things around it to make it taste
Yeah.
better? It's a different thing,
True.
No.
The actual naked product
Yeah.
is different.
So last, I guess I would like to ask if you had one piece of advice for the world, whether it be as a father in business or just life in general, what would that be?
Every situation that you walk through is there for a reason and a purpose. You can turn real quick into a bitter, angry individual if you hate the things that are happening to you. And there are some things that we can change as people. And as you talk about personal responsibility and actually owning up to your own self and how you respond to things. But then there are things that you can't control that are outside of what you can do as a father, as a business owner, as even if you're an employee working for someone. And being the best version of yourself really boils down to my minute by minute decisions that I make daily. Every minute, every day, because there are consequences to all of my actions. And how I respond to things that are out of my control will, in some ways, create my future. So if I don't respond well to this one thing, I might have a bridge that I want to burn later on in life, So there's so many different things, and you can turn your life around.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you respond well and if you framework what has happened to you in the past. And I see so much, and I think I'm getting more and more passionate about this, and I haven't talked a lot about it, but I want to get on my own Instagram page a little bit more about this, but just this whole thing of there's so much talk about my past and trauma, and so many people are burning their families because of how I grew up.
Yeah.
And if we could reframe that and realize that those are even the hard, I know people have, there's really hard things that people have walked through. But a lot of those things you can't change. And just like your first guest there with, he was in prison and stuff, just realizing that you can actually change how I'm going to respond to those things. And in the process, it makes you a better person.
100%. Love that. Cool. Thank you so much,
You
man.
bet.
You guys know I love discovering new neighborhoods, the type of places built with intention, and that is exactly why I want to talk about West 5, built by Sifton Properties. This is London's first sustainably built community. West 5 is built completely on solar energy using smart building tech. Green space everywhere, shops, cafes, restaurants, walking trails, helping people breathe a little bit easier, helping people connect and live the life they want to live. And right now, their newest Candela building is leasing energy-efficient suites. If you want a little bit more room, they also have townhome rentals available, but they are leasing fast, so look into yours today.